Welcome into the Life Transformation Show with Sunday. I'm so excited to be here today. The music at the background is by Lady Amina from South Sudan. Let me know if you're able to listen to the music. Yes, you're welcome. That song was by Lady Amina. That was the music from Lady Amina by Elanyolo Babangodo. So welcome into this life transformation show with me, Sunday. I'm so excited. Today is a different day. I am testing this in the evening. So I don't know if it is good in the evening because I normally do it at 6 a.m. in the morning. Before I go for work, I first do this life transformation talk. So it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. We share information and we discuss how we can help ourselves better to become better than what we were yesterday. And if it is your first time here, I have been talking about different topics, more especially about trust. Today is about trust. This week is going to be about trust. I just finished 7 days series on emotions, and that was one of the difficult topics to talk about, and a lot of transformation that has taken place. If you have not watched that, you can go and watch it. It's there on YouTube, it's on Facebook page, on my Facebook page, Sunday Raffle Jigo. It's also on my business page, Sunday and Jigo Online. It's there. So go and watch those videos. There are a lot of information. There's a lot of nuggets to get out of your trauma, your difficult emotions, and being able to get into your better best. So today we are going to talk about the power of self-trust. How many of you have difficulties in trusting others? Let me know. I am one of them. I am one of them. So before we start trusting or not trusting others, did we trust ourselves? Did I trust myself? That should be what I should start with. Did I trust myself? Or let me know on the comment section, who are those ones who trust themselves? Me, I doubted myself so many times. I doubted myself. I have to remind myself every day, every morning, that Sunday you are deserving. Sunday you are enough. Sunday, I have to remind myself every single day. And this brings me to just a reflection of a bird. You know, a bird, it just flies and sits on any branch of a tree. It doesn't know the strength of that tree, but it sits on that tree so comfortably, just fully trusting. But it is not that the bird trusted the tree, the bird trusted its own weight. The bird trusted its own weight. So how much do I know of myself that I can be able to trust even others? How much did I know of myself that I can be able to trust opportunities, that I can be able to trust many other things? So this topic has come to really help those ones who are struggling with the self-doubt. If you have self-doubt, you have fear, you are doubting yourself, you have fear of uncertainties, there you have low self-esteem. This topic is really to help you and to help me come out of that, because it has everything really to limit us. If you watch the other videos that we just talked on emotions, and even the first day about self-love, we have found out that there's a lot to do with ourselves. There is a lot to do with ourselves, loving ourselves. It is a lot to do with ourselves, getting ourselves out of difficult emotions, understanding our strength, understanding our weaknesses. That can really lead us to a true transformation and true personal development and growth. We are just shouting or maybe complaining. I don't know, so many people who complain, I don't have these things, are not working out for me. But did you know that if you search around, other places. You may not find the answer, but the answer lies within yourself. I said in one of my show, and I said that I am my own rescue and I am my greatest enemy also, because I can decide to limit myself. But if I also choose, I can decide to really free myself and enter into the freedom that I deserve and be able to see opportunities in a different perspective. So today we are going to talk about self-trust. And I don't know about you, I doubted myself. Let us know on the comment section if you doubted yourself in one way or the other, in one time or the other. Let us know on the comment section. And I have to remind you that this is a judgment-free zone. In this show, in this topic, whether you're watching me on YouTube or on Facebook, different pages, this is a judgment-free zone. Here we are commenting from our hearts, from our mind, from our thoughts to help ourselves get better than what we were just yesterday or the previous day or the previous hour or even the previous year. We just wanted to get better than what we were. And here we share from our inner self. This is a dialogue. And I love reading your comments because they are helping me help others and also helping others get out of their struggle, maybe having difficult time to figure out how to get out. So your comments are really so much important. You never know how much it will really help someone to get out. So let us know on the comment section if you had trust issues. So we are going to dive into really share about the importance of trust, trusting ourselves. So if you have trust issues, it's not only you who is having trust issues. So many people have trust issues. They don't trust others, but they don't know that it starts with themselves. Even they don't trust themselves. I had trust issues. I don't trust other people because I never trusted myself before. I got to learn this and to get into myself, to really learn to trust myself, to trust my capabilities, to trust my abilities, to trust myself, even in my imperfection, to trust myself with whatever that is in my hand or to me to handle, because also I have to trust that I am willing to change, to transform myself. So there are so many reasons why we really need to trust ourselves, because if we don't trust ourselves, there are a lot of things that we discussed in the previous videos that it limits us from getting opportunities. It delays us from taking ourselves into our better best, into our better selves, to discovering ourselves, discovering opportunities. So even taking opportunities becomes very hard if we don't trust ourselves. And it also becomes very hard for us to trust others. So it's like expanding. So when we trust ourselves, it opens a lot of doors for us. It helps a lot of doors. First of all, it helps us in decision making. I just shared my story on one time when I wanted to start up a business, and it was always difficult for me to really trust myself that time that I can do it. So what I did was I went around to ask people if I was able, if they see me like looking able to be able to do the business. But the answer I got, they told me, Sandy, you can't do this. I was having trust issues. I did not trust myself. I did not trust my strength. I did not trust my capabilities, my capacity. I did not trust. And the problem that I wanted to solve, I did not solve it that time. I waited for one full year, waiting if that could sort itself out. The problem grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And that was just from trust issues, that I had trust myself. If I trusted myself, I could have made a decision long time. And by this time, I could have been so far. So this trust issue is really something that can help us grow, and it can also delay us when we didn't take action. So having no trust, we are not going to dwell on why not having trust, but because we have known that it will delay us, it will make us not go into whatever that we wanted to do, or even get it, whatever that we wanted to have, like opportunities. So we are going to talk more about the power of trusting ourselves. If we trust ourselves, what will happen? If we trust ourselves, I have learned this from experience, that the moment I started trusting myself, it was very easy for me to make decisions, because I quickly comprehend what is in front of me, because I understood my strength, understood my capacity. So it helped me make decisions so fast and easy. And I don't just make the decision very fast, but with the confidence. I know what I am doing. Just someone could say that I know that I know that I know that what I am doing was right. So it helps me make quick decisions and also take decisions with confidence. I am not guessing anymore. I am taking the decision, knowing what I am entering into, or knowing what I am doing. So having having self-trust helps us to make decisions very fast. It stops us from these paralysis analysis, that over analyzing something without taking action, procrastination. It really gets us out of that. It helps us to make decisions faster and without guessing. And we are able to weigh, even if we have options, we are able to weigh that between this and that, which am I taking? Which one is it that is going to help me? It's very easy and possible for us to weigh the options and take which one is better shooting us, or can be able to help us better. That is all because of having self-trust, trusting yourself, not trusting others, but first trusting yourself. Let us know on the comment section if you have ever trusted yourself. What are some of the benefits that you have gotten from trusting yourself, and what lessons have you learned from trusting yourself? Let us know on the comment section. Let us know in the comment section, and let us know where you're watching from. I just want to welcome those ones who are watching us from Australia, from Canada, and those ones who are watching in South Sudan, in USA. You are all welcome into this life transformation show. We are all talking about self-trust. Today we are talking about the power of self-trust, and it's going to be for the next 5 days. Today is day 1 of 5. We are talking about self-trust. We are supposed to start it some time back, but I got some commitment, so I didn't start it in time. I was preparing for exams, but it is the best time to talk about this topic. So let us know on the comment section if you had self-trust issues, or if you have self-trust, if you trusted yourself. What are some of the things that you have learned from trusting yourself? Maybe you have watched someone who has self-trust issues, or maybe is trusting themselves. What have you learned from them? Because sometimes we don't learn from ourselves. There are moments when we learn from others. So let us know in the comment section what self-trust has helped. I have my notes here just to make things in order so I can organize my talk. So when we have self-trust, we move forward with clarity. We know what we are doing, we know what we are up to. So it becomes very clear. We are not just guessing, we are not thinking, we are not going with the fear, or maybe worry of, did I make the right decision? Was it right for me to say that? Was it right for me to? And it goes a long way. This self-trust helps us in so many things in our daily life, making decisions, in setting boundaries of where to go, where not to go, what to do and what not to do, what to say and what not to say. When we have self-trust, we know our value, we know our worth. That is very, very important. That it helps us get out of so many troubles that we could have set ourselves into, because we know where we belong. You know where you belong, and you know who are to be close to you and who are not. Yes, we know we can love everyone else, but there are those categories of people that you can be with, and those ones that you cannot. Like when they say there was someone who was saying, if there are 5 thieves and they are your friends, you didn't count well, there are 6, because you become part of them. So Also, when there's 5 successful people and you are their friend, you didn't count when there are 6 because you become part of them. So it influences you, but it first comes from our self-trust. How much do we know of ourselves? How much do we trust in ourselves? And it gets us out of that fear, stress of thinking that make right, that, and it fosters growth very fast. As I said before, it's easy to make decisions. It's easy to make clear decisions on what matters most. And that in that making decision, when you make a clear decision, because sometimes you can make a decision and sometimes disaster can come in just at the beginning of you taking over that decision. If you are not very clear, if you didn't trust yourself, you may think you made a wrong choice. Not knowing sometimes in starting up something, it might be difficult. It might be easy. It might not be easy. There might be circumstances that happen that can obstruct you. That can be like an obstacle. But if you know what you have done, if you know that you are in the right path, it becomes so easy and becomes very, very, very easy for you to persist, to always remain up to keep up, to keep on keeping up, not doubting yourself, not doubting your strength, not quitting. So it helps us be resilient and be consistent and be committed. I say that it fosters growth. It helps us bounce back. For example, if there is a challenge that you meet on the way of after maybe you made a decision that I want to do this, and after doing that thing, there was a very big challenge, that circumstance that falls. If you know what you are doing, if you trusted yourself, it becomes so easy to bounce back with a positive mindset, knowing that you know what has happened and you know what is going to happen even after that. So having self-trust really helps us become very strong, becomes very resilient, becomes very determined and very committed to whatever that we do, because we are, sometimes it's not that you are perfect. To trust yourself, it doesn't mean you're perfect in everything. You trust yourself with all the weakness that you have. I trusted myself with all my weaknesses, but I know those are weaknesses. I am a human being having weakness here and there, but I am committed to developing or improving those weaknesses to become strength. So we are all having challenges of different sizes, different circumstances, and there is no one who is 100% perfect. Even those ones whom we see that they are perfect, they have gone through the imperfect situation and they kept developing themselves, growing up and making themselves better. That's why we admire them. So it's the same like you too. You can grow, you can build up, you can get better when you commit yourself. But how can you commit yourself if you don't trust yourself? The first step is to commit, to trust ourselves. So there is this thing that doubt is the biggest enemy to personal development. If you have doubts, you don't have to look for the enemy somewhere else. The enemy is just within, and it's yourself. And if someone has to be brought into a sitting to solve the issue, is you, is yourself, to come, because the doubt that you have obstructs you from getting into opportunities, from even seeing an opportunity and accept that this is for me, this is something that has come to transform me, has come to change me. We see every opportunity as a downfall. We just see the negative part of it. What if I will fail? What if it will not work well? You see, what if it will work for you? Why do you think it will always not work? Because we don't trust ourselves. So it's high time we start trusting ourselves, because we want to make ourselves our best friends, so we can be able to make quick decisions, informed decisions, not just anyhow decisions, calculated decisions that we make when we trust ourselves. So we talked about making concrete decisions and making quick decisions. Having self-trust also builds our emotional resilience. I used to cry so much. I used to be this person. Anything can really make me cry. And it doesn't matter whether it was something good or it was something bad, I would just cry. So I was so emotional. But the moment I started trusting myself, the tears just start drying up slowly and slowly, and it's normal. There are moments where our emotions, we are just so weak emotionally, but it takes us to trust ourselves, even to control our emotions. It needs us to really understand who we are, to understand ourselves, to trust ourselves. So like we want to be somewhere, but we think we are somewhere else. Like my coach can say that you are $1 million dream and you wanted to move with the $1 dream person. You see, we can know where we belong if we have self-trust, if we trusted ourselves. It helps us in so many things in our everyday life, in our everyday life that we live in, even small decisions, something that we may think we don't have to think about it, we don't have to plan about it. It's all come to our self-trust. If we trust ourselves, it helps us in our families, it helps us in our career, it helps us in our business. If those ones who are business mind people, it helps us in our everyday life. So we really need to have this self-trust. We need to trust ourselves even before we trust others, because if we don't trust ourselves, what we have to give out, it has to come from the fullness that we have. The fullness that you have, then we pour out the overflow. If we don't trust ourselves, how can we trust others? It becomes very hard for us to trust others too, because we have trust issues. I just shared the scenario of a bird that just lands on a branch of a tree. It doesn't matter how tiny the branch is. It doesn't decide, can I land on this or on this branch? It just lands because the bird trusted its strength, its weight. The bird trusted itself. So it comes back to us. Did we trust ourselves? So if we trust ourselves, it doesn't matter the circumstance that comes our way, we will overcome because we know our strength, we know the strength that lies in us, the capacity that is in us. We understand it better. We just know that this has come to build me. We see it as an opportunity to step forward. So even in a difficult situation, you can remain calm if you have self-trust. You can remain calm because you know this is just for a season and it's not going to last longer. So even tough times, there is this book. I didn't read it actually. I read just few pages of it, but I didn't read it. I used to have it when I was back home. It says that tough times never last, but tough people can do. You see, it also comes with that self-trust. We can understand that this tough time can never last, and I can do it when we trusted our strength and ourselves, and it helps us to maintain the perspective, how we see things, how we view things, how we view opportunities, how we view people. It all depends on how much we trusted ourselves, how much we loved ourselves. It comes back to the first topic about love and trust, because this trust, they are sisters with the self-esteem. If you have self-esteem, you have trust yourself. If you have a good self-esteem, you have trust in yourself. So I had low self-esteem before, and I had trust issues also. But I grew as I learned from my experience, from seeing that even this low self-esteem is not taking me anywhere. This self-doubt is not taking me anywhere, and nothing is improving, nothing is changing. So I shifted my mind towards myself to see that I am the center of it all. If it is decision, if it is something, it first has to start from me and flows outside. So I have to trust myself more than I trust other people, more than I trust even my partner, even my children. Even I have first to trust myself. And if something I am not able to do it, I know my capacity, I cannot do it. I can also say, frankly, I can't do that. Maybe if I can learn. Yes. And self-confidence, self-trust gives us self-confidence and also self-worth. You know your worth. You cannot let yourself in a group of chicken and ducks because you know who you are. You know your value. You know your worth. You know where you belong. So this self-confidence, it is really very crucial in our growth, in our development, in our transformation. Most especially those who went through a difficult situation, it's really something very important to embrace, because if you want to transform our lives, we first need to trust ourselves. We need to trust the process. But before we trust the process, we need to trust ourselves with what process that is in place, with what things that are in place. We need to trust ourselves. And that self-trust is linked to self-confidence, as I said before, self-confidence and self-esteem. So believing in your capability and your capacity, you can do it. So it's very important that we build up a circle of positivity within ourselves. So it's very important, the power that lies within us. And that power is when we trust ourselves with that power. I gave my power away when I went around to ask people if I can do the business or not. I gave them the power to decide for me. And what their decision didn't even sort out the problems that I was having. I had to come back to myself and say, Sunday, hey, you have to make the decision for yourself, for your own self. Since I realized that, I really took bold steps into building myself, into pouring into myself, giving time to transform myself in many areas. The way I think, the way I do things, the way I see things, I have to transform myself, and I have to remind myself, as I said before, every day. I know that is a process. And it is not something that you can just decide today and it will happen if everything perfect today. No, it's a process. You have to go through it every day. You have to remind yourself. Sometimes you may forget and have to remind yourself. I have to write on the wall somewhere in the places that I visit so frequently to remind myself that I am worthy, to remind myself that I am enough, to remind myself that I am confident, that I am able to learn, I am able to do things, I am able to transform, I am committed into building myself. I have to remind myself every time. So this self-trust issue is not a big issue if we take action. If we make that decision that today, I just wanted to change. I want to see if I trust myself, what will happen. Just experience maybe for 1 week, and you will never want to go back to self-doubt. If you experience self-trust for just a 1 week, you will not want to go back to doubt yourself. If you doubt yourself, that is the biggest enemy. But embracing self-trust is something that is really so amazing, that it makes us evolve so fast, make us grow very fast, make us see opportunities in a different perspective, and be able to run away with it, to be able to do it, be able to get the opportunity for ourselves. But when we doubt ourselves, even opportunities that are for us, we miss it because we don't trust ourselves. We don't know if we can do it or not. Yeah, it's something that is really very, very important in our lives, that we need to be able to trust ourselves better. So I am so grateful that I'm able to share this. Tomorrow morning, I am going to go back to morning hours, and we are going to discuss more about the power of self-trust. How much can this self-trust do in ourselves, in our lives? What about in our career, in our family? What can it do to our own self? Let us know on the comment section, and stay tuned for tomorrow's topic. It's going to be also on the power of self-trust, but it's going to have a different subheading that we are going to share more about trust. How much do we trust ourselves? And this also is a wake-up call for us to see if we really trust ourselves or not. So stay tuned for tomorrow's talk show with me, Sunday, Raphael Jigo. I am so grateful that you're here. Be blessed, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share this with someone. You never know how much this will be able to help their life. Thank you very much. Have a blessed time. Bye.